This is A Better Way Financial, the podcast with financial advisors and father-son team Frank and Frankie Guida.
And I'm Heather Branch here with Frank and Frankie, asking for their ideas on what you can be thinking about and working on as you get closer to retirement, helping you put a plan in place. TheBetterWayFinancial.com is where you can start the conversation about your own customized plan. We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there or, again, find us anytime, TheBetterWayFinancial.com. This year, Frank, thinking about the younger baby boomers that are turning 60, and it is what you experienced yourself this year, sir.
Yes, I did.
60 years young, we should say, because I have yet to meet a 60-year-old so vibrant as the one Frank Guida himself. So if you're looking for fun conversations, more than just finances, Frank Guida is your guy. But what I wanted to ask you about is what this group of boomers is facing, guys, because as those who were born in 64 are turning 60 this year, a recent report found that this group seems to have been hit a bit harder by the Great Recession that happened in 2008 and 2009, harder than earlier boomers. And they're approaching retirement with 14% less in their accounts. So I wanted to ask you guys, for somebody who is listening, who is in this space, who is less than 5 years from retirement, maybe they feels they're behind in their savings. What is your advice to them?
Well, the reason, a lot of them do and a lot of folks do is because there is such a tremendous difference between the older boomers and the younger boomers. The boomer generation is 1946 to 1964. That's 18 years. Yeah. Exactly. But the youngest of the boomers, when we had to buy our homes, that was after the homes had already gone up by a tremendous amount. Mm-hmm. So we were sitting there behind the eight ball, so all of these different expenses that you incur were a lot higher for us than the boomers who were, born in 1946 and those closer years to that. So it is a tremendous difference, and some of our generation have not saved as much because of that, the home costs and the different types of expenses that we had to go through.
Okay.
And going back to the Great Recession, I'd say a lot of the older boomers were already either in retirement or closer to retirement. So their portfolios were probably in a more defensive position where they didn't have to brunt or stomach the entire loss that was 2008, 2009.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't lose as much either because we didn't have it.
Got it.
So this is something that, there's definitely some disparity in those portfolios that can be explained by the investment strategy themselves, but also by the age and the risk tolerance of the people of that generation.
Okay.
So our advice for someone who's currently saving and currently trying to make sure that they can retire, it would be to see a professional. It's not always the amount of money that you have saved that's important. It's really, how is your planning? Are you going to be able to get the income that you need over the course of your retirement? That's going to be the most important question. Can I retire, and can I have the amount of income that I need during my retirement?
Something that we talked about, sorry to interrupt you, Frankie, but something that we talked about, actually, I feel like on this radio program just a couple weeks ago, we were talking about a gentleman that had wrote it into an advice column who was like obsessed with having this $1 million in his account. And you guys were saying, let go of that $1 million idea. Let's take your $500,000, your $700,000, because if you've got a pension or some other options, that could be plenty of money. It's just about this, like you were just saying, the strategies and the math.
Yeah, and $1 million might be the number, but it might not. It might only be $500,000. It might be $2 million. You don't know unless you put the plan together, unless you see a professional who's going to be able to show you, here's what you have saved. Now let's see what we can do with that money that you've saved. Can you replace the income that you had coming in during your working years?
Right.
Okay. If the answer is yes, then yes, you can retire. If the answer is no, then, there's going to be some things that we have to do. Maybe we have to save more. Right now, we can max out our 401ks, and if you're older than 50, you could put in about $30,000 per year into those 401ks. And if they have a Roth option in the 401k, you can contribute that, not get the tax deduction this year, but have that money growing tax-free over the course of your retirement. So those are some of the things that you can do. You can work longer, retire sooner, depending on what the financial plan looks like. You can make it work. So this is something that we ask. This is something that we answer for our clients all the time. We have people coming in, calling us saying, hey, can I retire? It's a very simple question.
Yeah.
The answer
A little bit more
not
complex.
as simple.
Yeah.
There's a lot that has to go into it. We have to, gather the statements, see how everything's doing performance-wise, see what income streams you have coming in. What does your Social Security look like? What does your pension look like? And then we put together a personalized financial plan, custom-made for you.
So, yeah, Frankie, it kind of reminds me of that couple that came in. I think they were both one was like 60 and one was like 59. They were, sort of in my age bracket now.
Yeah.
and they had saved about $700,000.
Nice.
And they were very, very curious of when they could retire, if they could retire. How do they do this? How do they get their act together so that they're doing the best things that they can,
Sure.
taking Social Security at the right time,
Yep.
paying the least amount of taxes that they can. All of these different types of options are extremely important to these folks.
And they were worried. They were worried they didn't have the money in place because, $700,000 today, it wasn't quite $700,000 earlier, so it might be seen as a lot of money to some people, but in some people it's worried that this might not be enough money. And in their situation, they didn't know if they were going to be able to make it last. And what we did is we put together that financial plan. We wanted to see how are we going to get that income. They needed $5,000 a month of income, and they had no pensions and no idea how they were going to get that $5,000 a month of income.
Okay.
But when they came in, we developed an income plan for them. We showed them, here is when you should turn on your Social Security, what makes the most sense financially for you in your specific circumstance, and then how to fill that income gap between what the Social Security is providing and what that $60,000 of annual income or $5,000 of monthly income per year that they needed. So we were able to show them what does it look like to be able to get that income.
Okay.
And then we had the rest of the portfolio being able to provide income for them for inflation and for taxes. So down the road, as the cost of living continues to go up, we're making sure that they have that income and don't have to worry about where that next paycheck, about where that income is going to come from in retirement. But we didn't stop at income. We also looked into their tax situation, and we wanted to make sure that not only are they able to get the income that they need, but that they're paying the least amount in taxes that they can over the course of their lifetime.
Right.
So we showed them by setting up their portfolio the right way, not by adding any additional funds, just using the money that they already have saved. We were going to show them how they could save $200,000 projected over the course of their lifetime in taxes alone.
Wow.
And not only are they going to be able to get that $5,000 of income per month,
Right.
we showed them how they could increase that by an additional $500 every single month.
Nice.
Over the course of their lifetime. So an extra $500 a month, they were happy. They wanted to be, family was really important to them. So they wanted to be able to spend their money on family, take them on trips, and get to really enjoy that quality time together.
Well, quick math, $500 times 12, that's what?
$6,000.
That's a vacation. That's dinners out. That makes a big difference.
It does. It really does. And people, you know what? You retire, you want to enjoy your life. And you know what? Well, and if all it means is fine-tuning a little bit, hey, instead of taking Social Security at this age, let me take it at this age.
Yeah.
Pay my taxes this way. Set up my portfolio this way. You work your whole life to save that money so that you can retire, and to enjoy your life along the way. But this is not about working harder. This is just about getting, making the right decisions in your portfolio so you can have a better retirement.
Right. Working smarter, not harder.
That's it.
So if you're thinking about retiring, or maybe you already are retired and you don't have a plan for how to get the income that you need out of your retirement savings, here's what you can do. You can go to abetterwayfinancial.com and click on the sign up now button, and we can begin to have this conversation with you.
Thanks for listening to A Better Way Financial, the podcast with Frank and Frankie Guida. To learn more, visit abetterwayfinancial.com and join the Guidas for the radio show, A Better Way Financial, Saturdays at noon and Sundays at 12:30 on News Radio 790 WAEB. By contacting us, we'll review aspects of your retirement portfolio to include suggestions about how best to utilize estate, tax, and retirement planning strategies and other financial services, or if changing management styles is appropriate for your specific needs and objectives. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendations to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. A Better Way Financial is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any client experiences discussed during this show are unique to that client, and they are not meant to imply or suggest you will experience the same results. Advisory services offered through A Better Way Financial. Insurance offered through licensed professionals at A Better Way Financial. Pennsylvania Insurance License number 301779.